I am the Reverend Madison Shockley. I am a United Church of Christ minister. I am the one that serves the Pilgrim United Church of Christ in Carlsbad. It is my honor to join so many clergy, patients, family members, and patient advocates across California today in launching Compassion and Choices End-of-Life Consultation Service. I'm especially proud to be associated with Reverend Howard Moody, who has shown how clergy and caring advocates can change our law and our culture through personal action. When the Compassionate Choices Act, AB 374, stalled in the California Assembly in June, those of us who work with terminally ill persons knew we couldn't let patients suffer while legislators played politics with a patient's right to aid in dying. Legislators became paralyzed on the issue, despite the fact that 70% of Californians do believe that a mentally capable, dying adult should have the right to choose a humane and dignified death when continued life has become unbearable. Dying patients cannot wait for government to catch up to their needs. Too many terminal patients suffer needlessly. Too many endure unrelenting pain. When patients see no other options, they often turn to guns and other violent means. Such violent ends occur hundreds of times each year in California. Today, we launch a program to prevent these tragedies. We are stepping in where the government has failed to act. The End-of-Life Consultation Program will help terminal patients access hospice, pain treatment, and other excellent end-of-life care. We are volunteers, and we are honored to give our time and support and empower those facing the end of life. End-of-life consultation can prevent suffering, violence, and other harm. Each caller will receive a confidential assessment of their situation and discussion of their options. Volunteers visit patients and families in the home, and together they identify a path to peaceful dying, well suited to an individual's illness and circumstances. Volunteers counsel and support the patient and family through any decision, no matter how difficult. Volunteers neither provide nor administer the means for aid in dying. Clients obtain and self-administer these means. We do not break or defy the law. Our end-of-life consultation is non-judgmental. Any choice the patient makes, we respect. We will not abandon any patient. Those dying patients who will benefit from our service know their illness will slowly torture and dismember them internally, ultimately leaving them to pass away in pain. The end-of-life consultation allows individuals to make a choice consistent with their own religious and spiritual beliefs and their understandings of life and death. Being offered such a choice can make the difference between a person living his or her last hours, writhing in pain, or leaving this world in peace. In my ministry, I have found that death experiences are as varied as life experiences. Some deaths are sudden, without warning. Some are expected, but persons nonetheless can live years, even decades, before death arrives. But a few deaths attack a person with a viciousness that can only be described as horrific. Does God intend for us to endure such suffering and pain? Does life have meaning lived out either in the fog of sedation or the agony of pain so intense the mind understands nothing else? These are the questions the dying must answer for themselves. My faith is in a God whose main attributes are love and compassion. My belief in a loving and merciful God includes a dying person's choice to forego unbearable suffering at the end of his or her life. I believe that God has given us the choice to have a release from such a painful end. The Compassionate Choices End-of-Life Consultation Program allows dying patients to choose comfort, compassion, and mercy if their bodies have failed them and their minds cannot bear the suffering from that failure. Our service will follow eligibility guidelines and procedural safeguards that have worked well in Oregon for over 10 years and can work well in California. This is what all great religions teach us about a loving God. We can do no greater act of love for those we love than to support, not abandon, a dying patient's choice at the end of life. Today we launch a service based on that act of love. I urge those suffering at the end of life to call our number, 1-800-247-7421. Help is available, and you need not face the end of life alone, in unrelenting pain, or choose a violent end to an otherwise fulfilled life. Thank you.